guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday the 13th and I've been so excited for today's video. So I decided for my first Friday the 13th video, I was going to give you guys a backstory as to why Friday the 13th is known as being unlucky. So I'm gonna start off by saying that psychologists actually say that the only reason that people perceive Friday the 13th as being an unlucky day is because you notice mentally those bad things that happen to you on that day because it's Friday the 13th, because it's known to be an unlucky day. But the same thing could happen to you on a random Thursday, the 8th, or something like that, and you're not going to take note of all the things that have happened to you that were unlucky as much as you do on Friday the 13th. So you're only validating the unlucky day because of the fact that you think it's unlucky. So I'm going to take you guys back to the beginning as to why Friday the 13th is known as such an unlucky day. So the history behind Friday the 13th being an unlucky day is actually because there were 13 members at the Last Supper for Christ. And the 13th member was Judas. And Judas committed suicide on Friday the 13th, and Christ was crucified on a Friday. So I was actually really surprised to hear that the reason that they tie in Friday the 13th being such an unlucky day and number, Adam and Eve actually ate the forbidden fruit on a Friday, and Abel was slain on a Friday. I didn't know this at all. I thought that there was gonna be some creepy backstory that I was gonna dig up and find out. It's all actually very religious, and that's where all of the history of Friday the 13th comes from. Another reason that 13 is an unlucky number in history is because they believe that 12 is the lucky number, that anything that comes after 12 is what's unlucky. And that's why there are 12 months in a year rather than 13 months in a year. And that's why the day is perfectly split up in two segments of 12 hours. So you have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, because that is the lucky number. If you're familiar with baking, a baker's dozen is 13 of something instead of 12. So you're lucky if you get a baker's dozen because you get one extra item in your order. And there's actually 13 cycles of the moon and earth. Something else historically about Friday the 13th that I thought was actually really interesting is it is actually known that Columbus arrived to America on October 13th, but he changed the date to October 12th because he didn't want to curse the new land with the evil number of 13. So with Friday the 13th being known as such an unlucky day, whenever something bad did happen on Friday the 13th, it was recorded and known to be even more unlucky, and it was credited for being because it was Friday the 13th. I can watch any other scary movie when I'm home alone at night and I'm fine. But if I would turn on even Jason Goes to Space, which is one of the worst movies of the Friday the 13th series, I couldn't watch that home alone at night because I was so terrified of Jason. So to get into a bunch of facts and also the backstory of all of the Friday the 13th movies was extremely interesting to me, and now I wish that I had all of them on a streaming service so that I could watch all of them all over again, having a better understanding of the movies. I remember always wondering, like, why the heck can he never die? Which is the same thing with Michael Myers too. Michael Myers never dies either. Even though he's been shot, he's been stabbed in the eye, like all these crazy things, and he's still alive. But to me, there's been so much that has happened with Jason that I'm just like, how on earth is he even still alive? Well, when you actually get into what goes on in all the movies and you actually watch all the movies, which I have not, there's a better understanding, and I'm just gonna kind of get into it before I really start from the beginning, but it's a strike of lightning that brings him back every time. And every time you see Jason's face, it's more and more morphed into like a demonic type creature. He's not human at all at that point, which makes so much more sense because the reason he's being revived and coming back to life is because he's now inhuman. And that to me is so interesting. So I cannot wait to rewatch all these movies. Probably gonna go and order all of them because now I have to watch them with a better understanding of the backstory of all the movies. I'm just like, I'm taken aback from all the information that I got, and I'm gonna link the video down below that I watched that I felt like was the best information behind all of the Friday the 13th movies. It really gave great information that I had never seen before or known of, and it also gives you an understanding of the movies, which to me was super helpful and I found super amazing because now I'm really into the movies and I never really have been before. He's always been one of my favorites because he scared me so bad, but I just couldn't bring myself to watching the movies, and now I have to. Like, I'm dying to. So if you guys have seen all of the Friday the 13th movies, please leave a comment below which one is your favorite one and tell me who your favorite slasher movie is. Because I always thought it was Michael Myers and Halloween, but now I'm kind of thinking I might switch over to liking Jason Voorhees. So I have to know what you guys think too. Let's get into how they started. So the director, Cunningham, actually started advertising just the title, Friday the 13th. He didn't have a movie idea or anything. He just started advertising Friday the 13th. And it had such a big success and so much attention that he then started to get a budget for the movie and was starting to kind of get an opportunity to make this into a movie without even having a storyline or an idea of what the storyline would be. All he had was a title. So starting with just the title, he actually started with Jason being named Josh, but he changed it to Jason because his son's name was also Josh, and he just didn't like the idea of the slasher of this movie having the exact same name as his younger son. He actually has the lowest body count out of all of the slasher / serial killer murderers in movies, and that's due to the fact that the whole first movie he doesn't kill anyone because the killer is in fact somebody else. The killer is his mom. So that's why his body count is so low, because the whole first movie it's his mom doing all of the killings. And the interesting fact that I actually found about the movie is Jason actually didn't die from the lake drowning. He actually survived, but because people thought he was dead, he was living in the woods and basically just living off of the land, waiting for his mom to come back for him. So then when a decade later the camp was reopened, the mom then saw Jason's spirit telling her that she must kill them. So that's why she goes back and kills all of them. But in all reality, he really wasn't dead. So at the end, when Jason's mom is beheaded, he actually sees that. And that's why in the second movie, he has a shrine with her skull in the middle of it, because he's killing everyone out of revenge for his mom because he saw his mom being killed. And he sees his mom telling him to kill people because he saw her be killed. So he's going after revenge for her when she was going after revenge for him. And another really interesting fact that I found about the movie is the notorious Jason sound that I'll play here. Actually was created because the director had told the music director that he wanted a musical like warning, I guess, for when Jason was near or when he was killing. He just wanted something original. There's a scene in the first movie where Jason is telling his mother, kill her. So the musical director took that. He just says kill her in a musical way and made it sound super cool. And so the whole Jason sound is actually his voice, and it's super notorious now. So that's a really cool idea that he came up with, and I just thought that that was so cool. The notorious mask that Jason is seen wearing didn't become a thing until the third movie. He wore a flour sack on his head during the whole second movie when he begins doing the killings. So that actually didn't become a thing until the third movie, but it's what he's notoriously known for. I honestly didn't even know there was ever an existence where he was wearing a flour sack head. So when I found out that fact, have you guys seen Fear Street? one of the murderers in Fear Street is wearing a flour sack bag on his head, and that just like totally reminded me of the Friday the 13th series because he wears a flour sack bag, and I just think that that's kind of a cool thing that they tied in there because that's like a known thing with 80s slasher movies. Another interesting fact is I can't remember which movie it was in the series. Like I said, I'll link the video down below where I got a lot of my information. You guys can get the actual full feel of everything that's going on in the backstory of the Friday the 13th movies. But there is one movie in the series where we're at a psychiatric hospital and there is some patient that was killed there. And so what happens is it's the dad that is actually seeking revenge for his son, but he's killing as if he's Jason. But at this point, Jason is dead. And the interesting thing that they did so that you kind of notice a difference in this movie is instead of the notorious red marks on the hockey mask that Jason has, it's blue marks. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch it and tell me if you notice those blue marks right away, because I just thought that that was such a cool thing because it's obviously someone killing as Jason and they can't have it fully fool you. So they just left a little Easter egg in there, and that's the fact that the marks are blue instead of red on the hockey mask. Honestly, I treat Friday the 13th as my spooky celebration day because if you get a random Friday the 13th when it's not in October or anything, that's your excuse to pull out your Halloween horror movies, pull out your Halloween decorations, and have a full-on party as if you're celebrating Halloween all over again, but it's for Friday the 13th. I know that my tradition is I always pull out a marathon of scary movies, and I like to watch scary movies all night while I have snacks. And I am extremely lucky if on Friday the 13th it's raining and it's cloudy like it is tonight, because it just really sets that mood. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite days to watch scary movies or have marathons is when it's raining outside and I get to just lay down with my favorite blanket and I get to watch my movies and have my favorite snacks. And I always want to watch horror movies. Now I just found out I'm potentially going to be obsessed with the Friday the 13th movies, so I just cannot wait to fully immerse myself into these movies and watch them with a new mindset. So I do want to tell you guys I am over my fear of Jason Voorhees, and I'm going to credit that fully to Ghost Adventures. There's an where they have actors who have played serial killers or slashers from these movies come on and investigate with them, and one of the actors that came in was the actor that played Jason Voorhees, and for some reason that totally helped my fear of Jason Voorhees, and I've never had another nightmare about him. I hope you guys enjoyed this Friday the 13th video. This is going to be an ongoing thing. On Friday the 13th I'm going to come to you guys and do a very themed video based on Friday the 13th. I thought that for the first video it only made sense to give you the history and backstory behind why Friday the 13th is known as unlucky, as well as talk about the movie based on the day. Moving forward, I'm going to have some very unlucky Friday the 13th stories to share with you guys that I've either found on the internet or I've had shared with me. So I hope you guys are excited for this series. I love Friday the 13th, and I hope that we can make this a thing, sitting down having a horror marathon with our favorite snacks on Friday the 13th, because it's not a day to fear. It's actually a day to just let your spooky flag fly. Unfortunately, those who are superstitious hate this day, but for me, this is one of my favorite days to come up. This is also when haunted houses open up for just this one special day outside of the month of October, and I just think it's so fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed sharing this with you. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite videos I've researched for because I learned a lot of stuff that I just really didn't know before, and I hope I shared something new with you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Bye.